We did a gig where Queen supported us in Liverpool,
They supported you.
and yeah, the biggest gig that we did was actually Nebworth in 1976 with the Rolling Stones. Allegedly, 250,000 people were there. I remember.
Well, I mean, I'm just trying to get my head around hanging around with the Beatles. Did you and Ringo just go and eat at the local TGI's or Graham that I'm Not in Love was quite a groundbreaking piece of music at the time.
Kind of half admired them and resented them for actually leaving such a successful group. But it also actually it's kind of tainted because it marked the last uh, live gig that we ever did.
Graham,
Okay,
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for coming on. Let's
Pleasure.
thank you. Let's wind it back to the beginning. 10th of May, 1946, born in
Yeah.
Salford. Your dad
Yeah.
worked in the clothing industry, but he was also
Yeah.
a poet and a playwright in his spare time. How did he influence you growing up, Graham?
Oh, very much so. I mean, he came up with song titles. He helped me with lyrics. He wrote chunks of lyrics as well. I mean, he was really like a writing partner to me. And yeah, I'm very grateful to him. I mean, as well as song titles for me, he came up with that. He used to say to me, "Art for art's sake, money for God's sake," which
Yeah,
became a hit for 10cc.
of course.
Although that's a very sort of cynical saying, but he wasn't a cynical man at all, but he just found it funny.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a funny thing to say.
Was he always pushing you towards songwriting eventually? Not in a kind of, overtly pushy way. Was he always encouraging you?
Always encouraging, not pushy.
Yeah.
Neither of my parents were pushy, I have to say. But I think they recognized that I had a gift from an early age. I wasn't, I didn't get any GCSEs or anything like that from school. From quite an early age, I was just thinking about music, and
Yeah.
they recognised that. So because they thought I had a gift, um, they were really supportive of me when I started working with bands and writing songs from quite a young age.
Yeah. How old were you when you first thought you might be able to make a life in music?
I was probably about well, I sort of really became aware of music when I was about 7 years old. Used to listen to the Light program, so listening to a lot of sort of orchestral music, classical music. But then, because of the time that I was born, in my sort of early teenage years, I was listening to music coming out of America, like Elvis Presley, Bill Haley, and then the Everly Brothers, Buddy Holly, Eddie Cochran. And that had a really big influence on me. And my generation of musicians and songwriters, you can hear it in. I mean,
Yeah.
the Beatles are a very good example, although they're a bit older. They were a bit older than me at that time. Um, yeah, so that was important as well as having parents that were supportive of me. It was really that age of listening to the music I've mentioned, plus going through the time of like the skiffle era with
Mhm.
Lonnie Donegan, Cliff and the Shadows,
Of course, yeah.
and then the Beatles to top it all off.
The Quarrymen.
The Quarrymen, indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was quite lucky. I'm a musician as well, and years ago I was
Okay.
doing a gig and I got to play with them. Yeah, I did a couple of songs with a few of the members.
Wow.
I know.
Okay.
Well, that's a claim to fame.
Amazing. Blimey.
Were you on the same record label? Was it RCA as Elvis?
I was, as a solo artist, I was on RCA.
Yeah.
Yeah, back in the day. I put an album out called the Graham Gouldman thing in 1969, I think it was.
Because
Yeah.
we've got a connection, haven't we? Because Willie Morgan, you wrote a song for Willie Morgan and yeah, the footballer, didn't you?
Yeah.
Dana's father.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Yeah. Well, we started Strawberry Studios in the late 60s, early 70s, and I was a partner in it with Eric Stewart and Peter Tattersall. And we wanted to create a proper recording studio that wasn't in London. for the really basically to serve the north of England.
Yeah.
Um, and we would get offers of, recording different things. And we were basically recording anything. And it included quite a lot of football records. We did one for Everton, one for Manchester City, which was a truly a business decision as far as I was concerned, because I'm from a Manchester United family. But anyway, um, and there were other stuff as well, and we did one for Willie as well.
You
I
did.
mean, it was like we were doing anything to bring business into the studio. That was basically the
Was it easier
what it
to
was
make?
about.
Was it easier to make a living in them days with music in terms of because before
Well,
you were a
I
famous
was
singer, you were a songwriter, yeah.
I was already sort of an established songwriter because I'd written songs for other artists
Yeah.
during the '60s, which had been very successful.
The Yardbirds,
I always wanted to be in a band. I mean, I was always in bands anyway, from like about 15, 16, in Manchester. Um, but I'd met up with, I knew Kevin and Lowell, and then met Eric, and we all came together. So we were kind of like the house band at Strawberry Studios,
yeah.
just playing on anything. And we actually, even though it was kind of, it wasn't really like, if you compare a football record to what 10cc were doing, it's like it couldn't be more different. But we kind of, we even though it wasn't necessarily our musical taste, we kind of enjoyed doing it. I think our attitude was, we're going to do it, let's do it properly, and let's make it the best record we can. And
That's a that's a
that
really
was
good,
yeah, our attitude to
yeah.
it.
It's a really good attitude to have that, isn't it? It's a relaxed
Yeah,
attitude to have.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I think's wild, Graham? Like 10cc are such a huge international entity and has been since the 70s, but you did most of it from Strawberry Studios in Stockport. It's mental.
yes,
It's crazy, crazy. Why
yeah.
stop?
Well,
Why Stockport?
because we all Eric and Peter lived near Stockport.
Yeah,
Lowell, myself, and Kevin all lived in North Manchester at that time. Um, so yeah, it seemed. I think Eric and Peter found the premises, and we just sort of joined them there, um, to do what I said before, what we wanted to do, and create something that was not London centric. It was all up to that time. If you wanted to make a record, there were facilities in the north of England, but I don't think they were very good.
yeah. Is it still an operating studio?
No, no, it hasn't
No.
been for years.
The
There's
plaque's
actually a
still on the
plaque
wall.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the plaque there. Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I
that's
think
right.
there's a lot of history around that area. You've got your studios, Strawberry Studios, and there was a plane crash just there's a little park, isn't there, where the plane crashed?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Did Paul
that's
McCartney
right.
did Paul McCartney ever record at Strawberry Studios?
Yeah, he did. He recorded an album with his brother Mike McGear at the same time that we were recording the sheet music album. So we'd record during the day, and he'd come in sort of late afternoon, early evening. So
Wild.
the actual studio was absolutely crammed with gear.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
was great. It was really great to have him there.
Because Eric worked with him, didn't he?
Eric worked with him later on, yes. Yeah.
How did 10cc come about exactly? Just as a result of you
Well,
guys being in the studio together writing these songs, I guess.
yeah, well, as I said, Eric and Lol and Kevin and I, when we were younger, we were in different bands, and we used to rehearse at a place called the JLB, which was the Jewish Lads Brigade in North Manchester. And they very kindly lent us. They had lots of rooms that weren't being used, and we used to go there to rehearse.
Yeah.
And so that kind of tied the three of us together. I formed a band with Kevin called the Mockingbirds. Lol and Kevin were best friends. And then I met Eric. I don't exactly remember exactly how the four of us came together. Um, but then, so Kevin and Lol and we'd worked on various songwriting things together, I had a very good tape recorder at home, so they used to come round to my house to record stuff. And then, as I said, we just became like the house band in the studio. And when the studio wasn't working, we just write songs and record them for our own amusement until we recorded a song called Waterfall, a song Eric and I had written. And we had some interest from Apple Records, which was a Beatles label.
Yeah.
And we needed a B-side, and Kevin and Lol came up with Donna, which actually ended up being the first single
Wow.
we released in 1972. Yeah.
Was there ever a moment when you, Graham, realized you'd kind of made it in this really difficult industry?
Well, I'd made it in 1965 because I had a big hit record with the Yardbirds,
Yeah.
with For Your Love. But I think as far as 10cc was concerned, when Donna went into the charts, you have to remember something with 10cc though. It didn't matter who wrote the song, we all produced it together, we all contributed. So I felt as much joy about it, even though I'd not written it, as Kevin and Lol did, who had written it. Um, when that first went into the charts, that was
An amazing
that.
feeling. Yeah.
That's great. We were always, though, very, once we'd made the decision to actually be a band, I think we were quite confident about how well we would do.
Did you then tour the world after that? Was your life very crazy
Yeah.
after that? Yeah.
Yeah, it did get crazy, and it got crazier after 75 when I'm Not in Love was a massive hit, like sort of internationally, and that really
Yeah.
that made a big difference. But then things changed, in 76, Kevin Lowell had enough. There were a few reasons why they wanted to leave. I mean, had a massive amount of success. They were basically leaving a gold mine,
Mm.
if you
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
to put
absolutely.
it bluntly.
Yeah.
But they were very principled. I kind of half admired them and resented them for actually leaving such a successful group. But they wanted to pursue their own careers. They'd invented something called the gizmo, which was an attachment for a guitar. Ended up making a three-album set, featuring the instrument.
Yeah.
But then, of course, they went on not only to have hit records in their own right, but really at the start of the MTV sort of revolution became, really the masters of pop video makers.
Yeah. Would you say
So
would you say, Graham, that in I'm Not in Love was quite a groundbreaking piece of music at the time?
I think it was, yes. I mean, people still cite it as being, because it was a very original production as well as the song. I mean, you've got to have a great song. It doesn't matter, at the root of everything, the song has to be good. But there's no doubt about it that the actual sound of it was really very important to its
Yeah.
success.
What was your inspiration behind the song then? Take me through that.
Well, I'd always said the songs written by myself and Eric, and I'd always said we could write a great love song. We'd actually avoided it up till that point because it was like everybody writes a love song.
Cliche.
But
Yeah.
Eric came up with the perfect title, which was "I'm Not in Love,"
Yeah. Yeah.
and so we worked from there. I had these chords that start the song that kind of really set the mood for it, and then as it happens with all writing partnerships, one person comes out with one part and then another person comes out with another part. So it was a real mixture, but the title was perfect.
How quickly did you write that song and record it? What was the
It
turnaround?
was quick. It was very quick. All the best ones that I've been involved with have been written really quickly.
Yeah.
And we recorded a version of it that was kind of like a bossa nova that didn't work at all. And in those days, anything that we didn't like, we erased. So it would have been interesting to hear that
I was going to
version
say,
now.
was that a
But
mistake?
no, 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 we didn't want anybody to hear
Yeah.
anything that we didn't think was good. It was as simple as that. We didn't want it to, escape the studio late at night and get out.
You know,
So we got rid of it.
there's so many interesting stories about musicians who've wrote massive hits like you have, and they literally did it with a piece of paper in 10 minutes. Do you know what I mean? Was that the
Yeah, it
case?
happens a
That's
lot.
yeah, yeah,
It happens a lot. It's like something you're given a gift. It's almost like I was called songwriting. It's like you get on this train and you just sort of almost following the song. You can hear it before it's sort of out of your mouth. It's amazing. It's a bit of a mystery, which I
is
don't
it
want to
like
know what's
a
uh,
flow state, would you say,
like
songwriting?
a what?
Like a flow state you're in, like a snooker player playing snooker or
Oh, I see. Yeah, I think there is. You doing go into another state. I mean, even the act of sort of sitting down with a guitar creates something different. It's
yeah,
like putting on a uniform, if you like.
yeah,
You change like that. So you're an actor, right?
that's right.
So
Yeah.
you're in a different mode. You're you now, right? But you're a slightly different person when you're actually
Yeah.
doing your work.
I feel like as acting as an art is not dissimilar to being a musician in some senses. It's that kind of feeling when you're on a film set or if you're doing a great piece of theatre, you just completely don't think about anything else. You know, you're in that state of flow. And that's why
No,
we do
you're a
it.
different. That's right. You're a different person.
Correct. Yeah.
Although I'm not very demonstrative on stage, I'm not a sort of, I had that rock star thing. That I'm definitely not, but I'm definitely different
Yeah.
because I'm doing my what I do. You know, it's
Yeah. Yeah.
different from me chatting to you.
Well, you mentioned rock stardom and whatever just then. During your first flourishes of international fame and success, have you got a really good rock and roll story?
Well, I wish I did, but we never threw TV out of
Yeah. That's
the
what I was looking for.
bedroom, and I think we used to sort of go around tightening the handles on the wardrobes and things like that rather than that. What the one thing I will say is that and Lowell were very, very good artists, and they did something called tour art, where they would, if there was a painting in say the hallway of a hotel, and it was say a horse leaping across the mountains, they would sort of add various, how can I say this, appendages to the horse that was so beautifully done and in such it matched the original style of the
Subtle.
artwork that it was one of the very subtle indeed that you wouldn't really notice it until you sort of did a double take. I think that's probably about as naughty as
Has it
we
got?
got, although that was Kevin Love.
So it wasn't Led Zeppelin.
Definitely not Led Zeppelin. No, we were. Remember that. I think one of the reasons was. I think there's a couple of reasons. Um, we were born in the studio, not on the road.
Yeah.
So that's where we started. We weren't touring around, then made a record. I think that had something to do with it. I think we were, at that time, we were pretty sort of down to earth, northern,
Yeah,
Mancunian
yeah.
boys. So
So it was all
that maybe
business.
has, yeah, it was, well, it was more than business, but it was, we took things quite seriously.
Yeah. Yeah.
We took what we did very seriously indeed, actually.
Yeah. What was the biggest gig you've ever played or you ever played?
The biggest gig that we did was actually Nebworth in 1976 with the Rolling Stones.
Wow, did you do
Uh,
that
alle-
gig?
yeah,
Amazing.
allegedly there were like Lynyrd Skinner were on. Can't remember who else was on. Todd Rundgren. Um, it was massive, and uh, allegedly 250,000 people were there. I remember from the stage, all you could see it was like to the horizon. It's like looking out to sea was just people. It was
What
amazing.
was that like? What was that like? What was that? It was like a spiritual
I didn't
experience,
enjoy it actually
didn't you?
because No, we had quite a lot of not problems that we any that emulated from us, but the PA went down mysteriously just before we went on. And what it meant was by the time the Stones went on, it was dark
Hmm.
and they could use their lights. So we always suspected there was maybe a bit of skullduggery going on. But it also actually it's kind of tainted because it marked the last uh, live gig that we ever did
Yeah.
as the four of us, because Kevin Lowell left the band not long after that. Although we tried to save it, I mean, I'm very friendly with Kevin Godley. We've stayed mates all through the years and done uh, quite a lot of things together, which I can tell you about. But talking about it, we always thought, in retrospect, we know what we should have done. We should have said, "Go and do your album, do what you want, and let's reconvene in a year.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's take a year out." We could, we would have been able to have stood that, but we're all clever after the event.
Yeah. Did the guys leaving radically change the songwriting process? How did that?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We lost 50% of the team. It wasn't like we had a singer or a songwriter in the band. We all wrote and we all did everything.
Yeah, because
Um, yeah,
you
it
shared
did. It
singing with
did.
Eric.
We lost half the team,
Yeah,
but Eric and I decided to carry on as 10cc and did very well.
yeah,
So but it wasn't the same, and artistically, it wasn't the same. They were much more experimental, I think, um, in the songwriting
mm,
department. Eric and I were more sort of mainstream. Not. I mean, Dreadlock Holiday is not mainstream either, but like Things We Do for Love is a great pop song. There's no
yeah,
doubt about it. But we didn't. There was nothing like One Night in Paris, say, from the original soundtrack.
yeah,
That sort of opera, which predates Bohemian Rhapsody, by the way.
yeah, yeah. What's your favorite genre
It's,
of music these days?
what genre? I have no favorite genre. I just love good
Everything.
music.
Good
There's good
answer.
music and there's bad music. It's
Yeah.
simple as that.
Okay. During the 70s, who did you admire the most? Was it Bowie? Was it the Stones? Who springs to mind?
Yeah, I love Bowie. I was a big Queen fan as well.
Did you
Um,
meet all these guys? Did you work with them? Did you tour with any
we
of them?
did we did a gig where Queen supported us in Liverpool,
They supported you.
and yeah,
Wow, that's insane.
I remember, and I worked with Brian May a couple of years ago. We did a record together about the James Webb Space Telescope. Brian is an astronomer and an astrophysicist, so
Yes, yeah.
and I reminded him of that gig, and I said the one thing I remember about it is one of your crew brought in a big mirror. It was like you had your own mirror. That really impressed me. He didn't remember that, but anyway, I didn't remember. I remembered it. Um, Yeah, the 70s were great. I was actually a big sort of advocate of ABBA when they started as well. I thought
Yeah.
they're just a great classic songwriting. Well, that's been proved,
Oh,
hasn't it? Time and
yeah.
time again.
Several hundreds of millions of times over, I think, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What
I
was
mean, but
what?
there were people like the band and Steely Dan
Yeah.
that we all loved. Just great music.
What were the Stones like? Did you spend much time with them after Nebworth or
Not really, no.
no?
I
Was it
didn't.
just straight in and out?
Yeah, they didn't. We didn't seem to see them really. I mean, I think we actually, if I remember, I think we got out of there as soon as we'd finished. I don't think we waited. Um, I think we actually we went. I think we went straight back up to Manchester that
Did
night.
you? That's
Yeah, and then we went in the studio a few days later to listen to something that Eric and I had written, and it was the last. I think that Kevin Lowell said that they didn't like it, and the writing was already on the wall.
yeah.
Actually, when we were doing the How Dare You album, I could feel the clouds gathering.
Could you?
You can sense these things, yeah. But as I say, um, Kevin and I have, done lots of things together. In fact, it's almost a year ago, uh, to the day that we did the piano room together. The Radio 2
Oh, of
piano room.
course, yeah.
Yeah, we did that, and Kevin sang "I'm Not in Love," which was amazing because he'd never sung it live before.
I'm going to look that up
And
after this.
it's had like over 3.5 million views. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah,
I love it. I
so that
love
was
it.
great.
I love songs like that when they're stripped back and it's just a vocal and a music.
Yeah. Well, actually, we did it with the BBC. It was the BBC Concert Orchestra,
Yeah.
and Dudley did this great arrangement. It's really good.
One of my favorite bands you've toured with is Moody Blues. You worked with Justin Hayward, didn't you? One of my
Yes.
favorite songs ever is Forever Autumn, which is famously on the soundtrack
Yeah.
of War of the Worlds, isn't it? Um,
Yeah.
who is your, I know this probably changes for all of us, but who is your favorite songwriter this week in the world ever? That's probably such a difficult question to answer. I give you
Well,
two.
actually, we went to a Ron Sexsmith concert last night.
Yeah.
Now, do you know Ron Sexsmith? Do you know of him?
I've heard of him. Yeah.
Okay, no, he's a fantastic songwriter,
Yeah.
and I love him and I know him. But before he came on, they were playing a Paul Simon track,
Mm.
Kodachrome, which reminded me. I mean, he's one of my all-time favorite songwriters.
That is brilliant.
No one like him. Fantastic.
My favorite is it Coming Home?
Yeah.
Homeward Bound.
Oh, you mean, oh yeah, Homeward Bound.
Yeah, it's such a great song, that, isn't it? It's
Oh,
such
it's
a great
just so
song.
great. There's loads of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Who is your favorite band then of all time? Or
It's
one of them?
the Beatles.
The Beatles. Tell me
Yeah.
why. Tell me why.
Oh,
How long have we
I
got?
haven't got time. Not all the obvious reasons. They first of all, when I first heard them, they weren't singing with like American accents. There was a kind of a beautiful darkness about them. And I remember seeing the first picture of them, which was on a sort of like a bomb site in
Yeah.
Liverpool. And what appeared then, they had this looked like very long hair, probably wouldn't look very long now. But just the music and changed my life.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be talking to you if I had one if it wasn't for the Beatles. Simple as that. There'd be no 10cc. No,
I think a
nothing.
lot of musicians say the same, don't they? It was kind of the
Yeah,
foundation.
yeah,
Who was your
yeah.
favorite Beatle?
McCartney.
Tell me why.
I mean, a song. Anybody who can write a song like Blackbird.
Oh,
End
that's
off. End off.
the standard song we all learn on guitar when we start playing, isn't it?
Yeah, and if you play it right, you're a lucky
Yeah.
boy. If you can do it right, it's a tough one. But yeah, I mean, I love all the Beatles. So it's like saying who's your favorite child.
Yeah, I get you.
Because each and every one of them contributed so much individually, but together what they created changed the world.
Yeah.
I toured with Ringo.
Did you? Where did you
Yeah,
tour? When was
I
that?
did with Ringo Starr and the All Star bands. I did 2 tours with him in 2018.
No way.
So just to be, in his presence was awesome.
Did you spend much time with him? Did you
Yeah,
socialize? Yeah. What's he like as a person?
yeah. It was lovely. He was very welcoming because, I was, doesn't matter who you are,
Yeah.
you're talking to people that are just above and beyond everybody else. In my mind, anyway. Well, in lots of people's mind, I'm sure. He was lovely, very good, very on it. Did not suffer fools easily.
Yeah.
I saw that. Fortunately, I wasn't one of the fools, but very dedicated. Loved to play. It's like a real musician.
Joy to it.
Just wanted to play. Yeah, loved it.
What if you're? I mean, I'm just trying to get my head around hanging around with people. Did you and Ringo just go and eat at the local TGIs or?
No, no, no,
How
no,
does
no,
that
no,
work? How does
no.
that work?
We went out with him once when we were in, I think we were in Boston, and we had a dinner for the band, he and the band, and a few of the, management and things, which was great. But he would eat. He was a real keep fit guy, so
Mm.
he's super fit, and very strict on his diet. So he would eat at the venues. He'd have food made for him.
Yeah, I read once that he was into his broccoli. It was his thing. It was his superfood broccoli.
Broccoli and baked potato. If I'm not breaking the NDA that I had to sign.
There was a thing with Ringo on a few months ago, and there was a streamer in an airport. I think it was in Manchester, and he was streaming live. He was doing a live whatever he was doing, and Ringo comes up in the background and waves, and the streamer went, "Who's that?" I mean, I'm just like,
One of the most recognizable faces in the world.
in the history of the world for the last,
Yeah,
60
in the
years or
history of the
whatever.
world. Yeah.
What would you say to your younger self if you could go back in time?
Blimey, you're asking some big
I
questions
know,
there.
I know.
What would I say to my younger self? Do you know what? You never know what's going to happen. Do your best. Oh, I did my best, I think. Um, just for the time, as getting older now, just enjoy your time on the planet and make the most of it, and don't put anything off. I don't think I did. I tended to say yes to things that I was asked to do. I mean, I think it was 81, I produced an album for the Ramones, and in 83, I produced one for Gilbert O'Sullivan. So there you got two very different sorts of artists, but that I work with. So because I said yes to it, I mean, I have made mistakes like everybody has. And there's things I regret as well, but I'm not sure. It's a really difficult question, that, because you got to put yourself back there. What would I tell myself? I'd probably say I didn't, I don't, I can't believe that you're still going to be doing what you're doing at the great age that you are now, probably.
It is amazing. When I was reading up about you, obviously I know a little bit about 10cc, but when I did a
Yeah.
deep dive into you as a human and as a songwriter, I couldn't believe the amount of people you've worked with.
Yeah.
It's incredible. What
Yeah,
what
I've been very lucky, and I'm grateful to it every day. I know how fortunate I am to spend a life in music. Same for you, to do
Yeah,
what you love.
yeah.
But it's not work, is it, really?
No,
You're getting
no.
away.
I
It's
tell
like
you,
you get paid for it as well.
I tell you what work is, Graham, though, is learning lines. If you're an actor, that's work.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. And actually, there is work involved in
Yeah,
rehearsing and going over things and going over things. But even in that, there's a kind of I like rehearsing. I like it. I like the challenge. I mean, we're doing some new stuff on the upcoming TEDx tour, and I like that challenge. It's good and it's kind of refreshing. And also, you can get into a bit of a rut, even though you love doing the songs, of doing the same thing all the time.
of course. Yeah, yeah.
So it's good.
What's that brings me on. Tell me about the new tour coming up. Where are you going and when does it
Okay,
start?
well, I haven't got the dates in front of me, but I think it's about 23 dates. We start in York and finish in Ipswich. We're going to Wales, Scotland, all over the place, Birmingham, Manchester. Um, I can't remember all the places. So all over the shop.
Are you doing
And
Bridgewater in Manchester? Is that
yes,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So we'll be doing all the hits as you would expect, and various album tracks, a couple of surprises.
Mm.
And yeah, it'd be great. Looking forward to it. We've been off for quite a few months now, so it'd be nice to get
Yeah.
back with the boys.
So two last questions. Okay. Big question first of all. What's your favorite song, the favorite song you've ever written? And what does it mean to you?
Bus stop, I'd say,
Really?
that I wrote for the Hollies. Yeah,
Of course. Yeah, of course. What does that mean to you?
yeah.
Why?
It's just because it was in a kind of sort of Beatles era. it isn't a Beatles sounding song necessarily, but I felt it musically. I think in particular, it's just it hits the spot.
Yeah,
I really and I love playing it when I do because I do something called Heart Full of Songs, which is a sort of semi-acoustic show that I do
yeah.
with three of my mates from 10cc join me. So that's really nice.
Okay, last question. You're going on tour, but after the tour, what does the future hold for Graham?
Well, there's more 10cc gigs, there's festivals that we're doing. We're going to Belgium. We are doing a Heart Full of Songs tour later in the year. We've actually got stuff booked in for next year as well, into 2027. So keep on working until I always say I won't stop, I'll be stopped.
That's a good way of
So I'm
thinking
going to keep, I'm going to, yeah, I'm going to carry on.
about it. Well, Graham, it's
Yeah.
been great to talk to you, and thank you for
Okay.
your time.
Pleasure,
It's
Scott.
really interesting.
Cheers.
Totally. Thank you.
Yeah. Good one, man. Cheers.
Thank you.